Robert. I want to ask you a question. If a director wanted to do a new Freddy Krueger movie, would you take that part again? Play Freddy again?
One last time?
Well, I'm getting so old that, no, I always played Freddy old.
Yeah.
But I would do, there was a script, I told somebody, there was a script floating around, I think Heather knows about this too. There was a script floating around that you wouldn't have been, Heather would not have been in it because they would have played Heather as a child in it. There would have been a little girl playing Heather, but there was a prequel script. And at one time it was to be directed by John McNaughton. And it ends with Freddy getting burned, which is like the Tobe Hooper pilot for the TV series Freddy Nightmares. And they had taken a lot from that. And I thought it would be real interesting because John McNaughton did a great film called Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer with Michael Rooker from Walking Dead. And I thought it would be great to see this old, this 48-year-old janitor, sweeping, going home, unhappy with his life, beating his wife down there in his cellar, making the glove, all of that stuff. Why did he kill those first kids? What happened? And then he gets off. And the great part in the prequel, the great roles, wasn't Freddy.
It was the lawyer.
It was the lawyer that gets him off.
I could play the lawyer.
Yes, a cameo.
As a cameo.
Yes, you and Rooney Mara as the legal team.
I don't want a cameo.
But anyway, that always intrigued me. But the reason I'm not involved anymore is they want to reboot the franchise. And although there could be an intelligent cameo for me and Heather, I could play perhaps a professor of dream analysis.
Dream analysis.
And Heather could be
A waitress pouring coffee in the back of the diner.
Heather could play a therapist for whoever the new Nancy is or something, and be, but that would be thoughtful and maybe part 3 or 4. But we wouldn't survive. I couldn't survive if they had to reboot the franchise. I couldn't do another one in 4 years, 5 years. I can barely take a hit now. I can take a hit and I can't get out of bed the next morning because you have to do it 10 times. It's not just one punch. They move that camera 15 times, and by the end of the day, you can't get up.
You did a lot of your own stunt, kind of
semi-stunt
work.
I'm an old surfer. I did all my stuff for years.
He didn't ever have.
I did the underwater stuff. I did all the water stuff in Freddy vs. Jason, and I was an old dog then. And that was in a lake in Canada.
Ah.
August 15th in Canada. You can go around topless. August 16th, this curtain comes down and the temperature drops 20 degrees. It's like, I think you guys have something like that here, don't you? I mean, you could be in the archipelago north of Stockholm, sailing a boat, in a nice little tiny B&B or cabin, like right in August, and then like a week later, you guys, right? Boom.
Snowing.
Boom. The door shuts. Okay.
Winter.
Where is my fleece?
I know today it's so springtime. It's so.
Questions.
What happened to you kicking the mama's boy's ass, Jason Voorhees? What happened to the sequel? What happened to Freddy vs.
Well, they
Jason
wanted
2?
to make it first with Michael Myers, and then they wanted to make it with Ash, the character from Evil Dead. And you know how big Sam Raimi was because of Spider-Man. Sam Raimi said, okay, it sounds fun. I might even want to direct it, but we want Ash to win. Well, I thought that was a great idea. I could just see the poster. Bruce with airbrushed abs, standing there, Bruce Campbell, and the poster saying, Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, keeping the world safe from sequels. But New Line was having none of it because our franchise, the one Heather and I starred in, is like 100 times more successful than all the Friday the 13th movies and all of the Evil Dead movies put together, in terms of profit. So they would never allow
Like
that.
Freddy, too.
They would never kill the franchise. Although it's pretty hard to kill Freddy. Next question.
Hi, I'm Terry. I have a question for you, Robert. What is your favorite memory from the Nightmare Cafe series?
My favorite what?
Memory.
From the Nightmare Cafe.
I don't have many memories. I mean, it was fun for me because I got my directing card. I directed a lot of the episodes, so that was fun for me. And I remember really, because I was the star of the show and everything, I just was like John Cassavetes. I was like dragging girls by their feet with a handheld camera and everything, because they lied to me about the budget. They lied to us about the schedule. In fact, our team eventually went over and saved a show called Tales of the Crypt, because it was the first season of that was all over budget and bloated. Here's what's interesting. Brad Pitt worked on that show. Lori Petty, Tank Girl, worked on that series. And a lot of those directors and cameramen became very, very, very famous. They're all heading the biggest shows on television right now. So that was my memory. But we were in this armpit of a studio in the deep, deep San Fernando Valley. And it literally, you cross the street and you're in El Salvador. I'm not kidding you. It's like mafia gangs from Central America, you know, and they're, you know, with their penises tattooed, and oh my God, it's scary. And you know, and there was a dive bar. It was the only place we could get any liquid refreshment, and it was scary. I mean, barflies. It was like right out of a you know, what's his name, novel. But then it became, and then guess who inherited it? And I thought it was, I thought they'd just burn it down after we left. Then the poor kids from Babylon 5 worked there for 10 years. And I went out to do a guest star in Babylon 5, and it was like, oh my God, the memories. I started to itch immediately. I think everybody that ever shot there got a venereal disease just from touching this scenery.